If you've watched the channel for any length of time, you will know there is a special place in my heart for Peter O'Mahony. And frankly, for anyone who plays the game the way Peter O'Mahony does. Along with two other legendary Irish rugby figures, Cian Healy and Conor Murray, we have had confirmation that we are just 2 weeks and now, if selected, just 2 games from the end of a frankly staggering and wholehearted international career in the green of Ireland, and soon enough in the red of Munster too. So here are some words and some pictures of the one they call the War God. Now, there have been many bigger, quicker, stronger back rowers than Peter O'Mahony, either competing for his shirt or lining up opposite him, but none of those attributes have been a match for the top 2 inches, the pure bloody-mindedness and belligerence of Peter O'Mahony, the attitude, the refusal to be beaten or to give up, and when it's needed, and in the best possible way, a nasty streak too. You've seen that passion and that pride on the pitch his whole career. We have also seen it off the field too.
What do you think about the intensity from your teammates out there? Was there enough in the game? Did they give enough, do you think?
What do you mean, your question with teammates?
No, I'm asking about the intensity that came from the team. Did you feel that they were giving it as much as they could possibly give out there?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not trying to catch you out here, Peter. I'm just genuinely asking the question if you felt that, maybe they left something in the dressing room that there could have been more that they could have given.
100% not.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it.
Now, I make no apology that these hard man moments are going to feature heavily when it comes to this video of Peter O'Mahony, but it's important not to pigeonhole the guy. He is first and foremost a fine rugby player with the full range of skills and reading of the game. But the granite-like hardness of this guy is the foundation on which his game is built, and it's the superpower which separates him from so many others. And to build a more rounded, positive picture of the man, just compare and contrast his exploits on the rugby field with the tender attention that he gives his other great passion, besides his family, of course, his lawn. There you go, a life goal for all of us should be to find someone who pays as much care and attention to us as Peter O'Mahony does to the edges of his garden lawn. There's a rumour actually that in that England-Ireland game a couple of years back, this flare-up was because Carl Sinclair had criticised the pruning of O'Mahony's rhododendron. That scuffle, as I'm sure you'll know, is far from an isolated moment. In fact, if Peter O'Mahony is on the field and something breaks out, you can bet your mortgage on the fact that you'll see a number 6 shirt right in the middle of the melee. It is only ever a scuffle, mind you, because, well, that's all you're allowed to do in the game these days, isn't it? And it is quite amazing that that level of aggression and ferocity gets kept on a leash. And I'd suggest it's just as well for his opponents, because don't you get the feeling Peter O'Mahony could handle himself quite well if he had to? Peter James O'Mahony was born in Cork in September of 1989, so he was a child dreaming of pulling on the red jersey at Thomond Park during the province's finest years, from the late 90s through to the early 2000s, when they were regularly competing for and winning the highest of honours. In fact, he joined the Munster Academy immediately after they won the last of their Heineken Cup titles in 2008. And you can imagine a youngster coming into the first team. He would have been a player that Paul O'Connell, Alan Quinlan, Ronan O'Gara would have loved straight away. That stand up and fight mentality, which is a non-negotiable if you want to pull on that stag and 3 crowns of Munster onto your chest. And in Peter O'Mahony, Munster had a man they could pass that torch on to from some of those great names. And whilst the 2010s weren't nearly as successful a decade for Munster as the previous 2, Peter O'Mahony did manage to help deliver a Magners League win in 2011, And a full 12 years later, another trophy, the URC title, against the odds in a performance which had Peter O'Mahony's fingerprints all over it. Now, the support for Munster is as good as it gets. The effort of the guys on the field is never in question, but the outcomes have not matched expectations, and you could feel the weight that Peter O'Mahony readily puts on his own shoulders, lifting after that victory against the Stormers.
I'll be alright, I'll battle on. I can't really believe it, to be honest with you. I've been a long time waiting for it, and yeah, I can't believe it. Happy days.
Peter O'Mahony, he has reached the very pinnacle of the sport, the summit of rugby's Everest, when he pulled on another famous red jersey, but it's in green where his finest moments have been seen. The current Ireland crop is a team of incredibly talented players, coaches, likewise the provinces that they draw their teams from, so it would be over-egging the pudding to give too much credit to any individual. However, with the margins so small at the highest level, I have absolutely no doubt that the mentality of Peter O'Mahony has had a disproportionately large impact on Ireland's fortunes in recent years, and you can only imagine the standards that this man sets and demands in training. We have seen many times, many times, the impact that he has had at crucial moments on the field, not least against New Zealand, where Peter O'Mahony will go down in Irish rugby folklore for a man-of-the-match performance in Dublin in 2018.
O'Mahony in over the ball, as O'Mahony got his hands on it. Another turnover by Peter O'Mahony. He's having the game of his life over the ball.
Well, they're all in crucial positions. Look at him. He's absolutely knackered.
And Peter O'Mahony, well, listen to this.
With the crowd are standing on their feet. Every person in a green jersey, and I suspect anyone who has a black one as well, they're rising to the example that this man has given here today. He's given everything he has.
And his Iron Will on show again in 2022 with a first Irish win on New Zealand soil, followed up with a second victory the following weekend and a first ever series victory.
Hacked away downfield by O'Mahony. And the All Blacks lose about 50 metres in the process.
50-22 as well.
Quick hands, lovely. Well done, O'Mahony.
Well done, Lightning. Great work.
He's a real competitor, Peter O'Mahony.
Again, the fiery passion spilled over into raw emotion after the game.
Look at that. That tells us everything. The hard man, Peter O'Mahony.
Peter O'Mahony is a hard-hitting, tough-talking man of action who delivers with deeds and words. He's a modern athlete and an old-school relic. I mean, the guy still wears an arm guard. He tests the boundaries always, crosses those boundaries sometimes.
I'm going to talk to him about his reaction, but don't get up and scream at me. Okay, if you carry on, I'm going to put you in a bin. Do you understand? Relax. The captain is number 8. I'll talk.
Commands respect from his teammates and his opponents every time, because they all know he's absolutely nails.